Okay, I'm Johnny from Johnny's and another project. This is a 78 KZ1000A. I bought this from an estate. Our guy was dealing an estate out or something. I'm going to call this a Celina KZ1000 because that's where it came from. So, looking it over, I don't know where we're going to go with it for sure. The motor turns over. I believe I have the original miles on there. It's got a 4-to-1 Kirker. Someone painted the motor black, everything black. Got some goop here. Now the motor turns over and it sounds like the compression's pretty cool. So our purpose here for this bike is we're gonna try to put a decent everyday rider together. Not sure we're gonna go with the paint and stuff, but first we're gonna try to get it fired up. There's some kind of hodgepodge stuff. Somebody cut a hole in the tail section. They got these little short extensions back here. It's got the original shocks. Now when I went to buy this bike, the guy couldn't find the sprocket carrier. And that's a big deal on these bikes because there's a lot of parts, and this is a 2-year only part that I know of. And it fits 77 and 78 KZ1000A. So we're missing all this, and I'll show you what's all involved in getting that together. Missing a chain guard, which is not the end of the world. I don't know about the pegs, if we have those or not. I got a box of parts that came with it and kind of started putting some stuff away. You can see they painted the front sprocket cover, and they started taking stuff off for whatever reason. But it's got the correct 78 tank because it's got the bolt-on fuel valve. It's we got to put a lock on it. It's missing a lock. Got the right seat. Got the seat catch right here. Everything, that's all pretty cool. It has a battery hold down, which is getting kind of hard to find on them. So I don't know where we're going with this one for sure, but it needs some work. Like 78 only had the caliper behind the fork and everything. It's missing some bolts. Someone drilled something out here for, it looks like, the purpose of turn signals. Probably because they had the small, I'm not sure what they did, but this is the wrong signal for it anyway. And it's missing the fork boots, missing some fork bolts. It, however, does have the right caps on the front. I think it's got a Honda master cylinder, but it's all good. It's all good. I think it had a square master cylinder when it was new. But it looks like it's good. I got a title for it. It has the steering stopper is still good. Got a nice VIN tag. So what we're going to do today, our purpose is, we have so many bikes in the building. We're going to take to the storage area. But we're going to put the rear wheel on and make it kind of correct with a better tire. That way it'll be more appealing immediately as we start to work on it. We're going to get the handlebars on it and stuff. But just thought I'd show you kind of where we're at with it, and we'll talk about the brakes here real quick and the rear sprocket. Thanks. Okay, I just kind of wanted to show you what's involved. We mainly specialize in the drum brake model, so this is all kind of foreign to us. Not foreign, but we don't have it like we do the drum brake stuff. So anyway, we're gonna put a replated rear sprocket on it. It takes a 33 tooth, and 77 and 78 has a small bolt pattern right here. I mean, it's kind of small right here. So this is the sprocket. This is a sprocket carrier, and this is special. Like I was saying, these aren't plentiful. Now everything we have is under OEM number, even if it's used, because we just don't have time to look for it. So whenever I dismantle something, I put it away under an OEM number, even though it's used. So this is the dampener for this right here. And this goes right here. Okay. Then I need this piece here that goes, this is the collar that goes between the brake in the axle. It's a spacer. And then this goes inside the sprocket carrier like so. And we have this stuff replated, and we all have it under our inventory like that. So then we have these locks right here under OEM number, and we make these here. And these are the nuts, and these are the replated studs. And here's another axle collar. So I kind of just wanted to show you what's really involved. And of course, because the bike is poor condition, I'm betting money it needs a rim band, and I'm betting money it needs a tube. And we have a nice older tire. It's new, but it's older. We're gonna put this on them just to get it going. So here at Johnny's, this is how we have a bike. This is part of our bike build. This is like a sheet. So these are, as you can see, everything is under part number except for the tubes and stuff, but it's all under part number. And this is how we do it, and I'll show you where these parts come from. Okay, so here is where the inventory is coming from. And you can see the shelving here. So we'll have the stuff listed under OEM number, whether it's replated or NOS or really, really good used. So like some stuff here is replated and everything. So this makes our process a little easier, and we'll already have stuff polished and stuff, but this is obviously for another motorcycle. But this is where the fours come from, the majority of them, because the four is basically the chassis part. So we just kind of want to show you where this stuff was coming from, and we hope you like what you see. Thanks. This is where we get our main source of information for the parts when we do these bikes, because we try to do them as correct as we can, even though they're not perfect bikes. Even though they're not perfect, this is how we get our information. So naturally, we're dealing with a KZ1000A, so we get the microfiche out. So that'll fall into our bike because it's a 78, so it's 77 to 80. And we'll go inside here, and they call this a microfiche machine. A lot of you guys that are seasoned know what a microfiche reader is, and if you're not seasoned, you don't. But anyway, we use these for years in the Kawasaki business, especially back in the 70s and 80s. So then we'll go into here, and then we'll find what we're looking for. And then we'll be able to just pinpoint it down, get the part number off of it, because you have your part number here and your description, and it'll tell you some remarks here and stuff. So this is where we get our information at. Thanks. Okay, a little more on our bike. Our main thing is we just bought it, so I'm gonna take it to a warehouse to store it. But I want to make sure I had all the parts complete, that we were ready to go, we'd have it all. So we're gonna put a couple rubbers in here. I'm missing the right side cover, and I found one here that's okay-ish. So we're gonna put some rubbers on there so it stays on there. Probably we want the pipe up a little bit better than it is. But if you come around the back here, you see the rear wheel, what we've done. We've put the axle, replated axle, replated bolts, replated stopper, replated adjuster. We put the replated bolts in with our locks here in the rotor. Then if you come to the other side, we have a replated sprocket, replated axle nut. This is all replated stuff. So we put a chain on it. So we're getting closer to where we want to be. Once we start working on it, we're going to take all the paint off these covers, and we're going to think about what we're going to do with the motor. But as you can see, we're starting to button it up, and this is just the difference. You know, I like replated stuff. So with that being said, this is probably going to close it up here for the day. But we will keep you posted here on this one. But we're going to put it away at a warehouse here for another couple of weeks or so until we get to it. Okay, thanks a lot. We've got the rear wheel set up. We've got the adjusters and everything like we talked. We've got the rear brake to work. Feels like it's got some pressure. So what we're going to do is we want to test drive the bike to make sure the motor and transmission are good. So we're trying to build a project bike here for someone to finish up themselves or whatever they want to do. So upon inspection, we noticed it has a dyne ignition. We took the clutch apart, and all the clutch looked good. The oil looked good on the bottom, so we changed the oil. We changed the filter. We changed this cap out because it was painted. We changed the breather body. Now the 78 KZ1000 is different than the Z1 because of the height of the inside of the can here. So here's the right bolt for it. So you were saying the carburetors are redone. A little bit of dry rotting here on the intake manifolds, but I think at least we'll get it till it starts. We put in our battery in it. I don't know if the battery is good or bad. It seems like once I turn it over, but we ran into another problem because the starter clutch is bad. So what we're doing is we're taking the paint off these covers that he painted. We took the paint off the head bolts, put new spark plugs in it, cleaned these bolts up here, got rid of the painted screws that were here. We're going to replace these rubbers here for the side cover. See how they're loose? This is a problem. When these get loose like that, you know they're worn out. You should not be able to spin these freely like that. Okay, you come to the other side of the motorcycle. We took the oil pump cover off, and we took the paint off that. You can see where we put all replated bolts. We're starting to do it all as we go. We're just basically doing the stuff though that we're changing. We're not just changing out bolts, but if we're getting to it, we're getting to it. So now we have to take this cover off because this is where the starter clutch is. So the starter clutch, we believe, is moving two ways, but it won't turn the motor over. So now we're gonna pull this off, we'll take the paint off here, and then we're gonna put our grommet in here to keep the oil from draining and everything. So as you can see, we've got the drain pan here set up. So when we start doing that, we'll make a mess. And then also, if you look at the clutch cable here, the housing's burnt and painted. And it had a little tie wrap right here for it. So we're gonna put a nice clutch cable on it. We use the ones we buy from Japan. So we're gonna replace the cable and fix the starter clutch. And then we're gonna get into some more, see how this is all gooned out and everything. And the fork, I think the fork tubes leak. So we're gonna put new dust covers on it and everything, and probably put the fork seals in it while we're doing this. And then we'll see about getting the front brake working, and we'll fix all this when we can. But the main thing we want to do is we want to get the rear brake working, so we can at least start the motorcycle. Now it's icy outside right now, so we're not going to ride it today. But hopefully maybe tomorrow or the day after, we'll be able to do some riding on it if the weather gets better. So thanks for looking at our stuff. And this bike is actually a pretty stock 78 KZ1000A. So. Okay, we ran into a couple snags here. As we talked earlier, the electric starter wouldn't turn the motor over, so the starter clutch drive gear has ridges on it. You have to feel these with your hand to feel the ridge. So the surface right here will get a ridge, and then the starter clutch won't work. So anyway, we're gonna poop can that one. So we already have another one on there, so it's ready to go. So we're gonna put a new gasket on here and everything. Now what we've done, my hand's a little dirty here, but anyway, we're gonna put another gasket on it. Now, before the stuff was all black, so we didn't really, what we did was we bead blasted this just so it didn't look so bad, like it, black all over. That's just our taste. So we're gonna put this on with another gasket. This is actually a nice shape. It could use a little polishing. We're on the fence right now if we're gonna polish or not. I'm leaning towards not, but it's actually in good shape. This is actually in really nice shape. And this is the later style one, of course, because you got the V coming out instead of just a straight shot. The early ones were straight without this taper right here. So now another thing. This is the sprocket cover, front sprocket cover. And this is where the inspection cover goes. So what we're going to do on this one is, I mean, once you start on this stuff, you can't hardly stop. But we have to eventually here because we're not restoring the bike. We're just making a nice runner out of it. This is normally where, on the Z1s, this is normally where the oil pump goes for the automatic chain oiler, such as 74, 73. And then they made it shallow on the KZ1000s. So this is shallow. There's not the indentation for the pump. And also, if we come to this side of the bike, or we can do this, it takes what they call a silencer. And this goes inside here with this deteriorated foam. So we're going to see if maybe we got a little bit better foam than this. And here's the screen that holds it in. It all goes the inside right here. You can see where it screws in. These covers here had the extra holes for this part. So what we're going to do here is we tried to soak this like in a carb cleaner, and that didn't get the paint off. This paint is on there, and I don't know what it is. So we're going to bead blast this just to make it all look kind of uniform, and we might try to hand polish it a little bit. Normally we have really nice polished stuff, but as I said before, we're just going to build an everyday runner out of this. So keep in touch. This is what's happening, and man, when you buy these bikes, it takes a lot to get them going. Sometimes you can get something that needs a lot of work before you know it. And that was the case on this one, such as when we had to buy all this wheel stuff and all that. So we'll keep in touch here. Okay, also we had another snag. This is the clutch cable that was on it, and someone soldered the end of it right here. And the cable's not really that nice here.
No.
And even though we're looking just to put this bike together, just to sell to somebody, we want to make sure it goes through all the gears, and we don't really want any troubles. So you can see down here where they had it routed, it kind of got burnt. It's not moving freely at all. So luckily, we found, I believe this part number is 54011-048 for the Z1s. So anyway, as I was saying earlier, genuine cables, you'll have the 11-048. So this would be, just imagine 540, then you got 11-048. Now this is how you tell if a cable is original or not, because it's going to have, the majority of the cables are stamped like that. Majority. So we kind of lucked out. We found a nice used one that's just nice. So this is what we're going to put on it. Lube it up a little bit, and there's nothing better than genuine parts for these bikes. It makes our job a lot easier. So there you go.
Putting some lube in this cable. See how it comes out down here? That means we got lube all the way through. And some people just stop right there. I like to take it off and put it back on down there, so we got the second part of the cable lubed as well. Like John was saying earlier, this is an original cable, so we want to take care of it. As much as we can.
What is that thing?
This right here is called a cable luber. Just a device that allows the pressurized lube to go into the cable.
Okay, this is the maiden startup job. We've not heard the bike run yet. Kenny's gonna hotwire it here. We've got a little bit of gas leaking, so we're gonna get into that in a little bit. But here we go. goes into gear. Okay, got some more progress on Celina Blue, the KZ1000A from 78. Kenny is just now finishing everything up here, and we've got the front end together. This is all replated stuff here on the neck. This is hardware that we make here at Johnny's, handlebar bolts. This is a powder coated clamp set that we sell here at the shop. These are our bolts right here. And if you come down here, this is all new fork seals, new fork dust covers, new drain screws. The front brake works. We have a reproduction master cylinder. It's a round one. Normally they came with a square one, I believe, in 78, but this is a reproduction, somewhat similar to the 73 Z1. Notice it says brake fluid right here. That's 73 style, Cow 900. So we've got that. We got set up with grips that we sell here. These are like Z1 replica grips, but it sounds nice. So we have a powder coated headlamp bucket that we're putting on it. You got some decent stems here. Pretty decent front fender. This is all looking pretty good. And if you come to this side of the motorcycle, we've got the rear brake working good now. We're going to go through the carburetors because we don't know what's going on, but we do have a carburetor leaking. So we're going to go over that. And the electric starter is working good. I got a reproduction key switch in it. Motor turns over nice. Oh, he wants to start. That's all the better. So, got most of the wiring straightened out. We're going to put a breather filter on it. We're going to put the small K&N filters on it, or K&N replicas, something like that. And we're going to clean up the shocks a little bit. It is the original seat pan for the motorcycle. 78 on the KZ1000A was the first year that they came with the cat chair. We're going to clean this up a little bit, but I think this will turn out pretty nice. Got the original pins and everything in it. So this is pretty nice. This is kind of gooned here. I don't know what the deal is. They had a sissy bar or something. If someone were to buy the motorcycle from us, we could substitute another tail section. However, it wouldn't be the same color probably. I don't think I have a matching body set for this. Rear wheels looking good. We're going to try to come up with a chain guard. All this stuff is replated. As you can see, we took the paint off these covers, cleaned them up a little bit. Got some nice hardware on there. Got a battery in it. We still have some more detailing to do to it, which we are going to do, but I just thought we'd show the progress here, and we hope to be done with this in a couple days. Probably the next working day, which will be Tuesday. It's Friday now, so we'll have this finished up Tuesday, and we'll go from there. Okay, well, thanks for looking at our stuff. Something else I wanted to talk about. One thing that is not correct on the motorcycle is we're running the Z1 adjuster here. KZ1000 is big, but this part right here is the same. It has one line on it. So this is all looking pretty good. I don't have the safety switch hook up here. We're not going to put that on. But anyway, I mean, this is nice. Genuine cable, it's nice. Also, 77, 78 KZ1000A has the wiring inside the handlebars. So the wiring is inside here. Kind of a neat, clean look. So we just thought we'd tell you about that too. One other thing I kind of wanted to talk about. We prefer .5 fluid. However, we have .5 fluid in the front master cylinder because this is new and we've been through the caliper. The rear has .4 in it simply because we just bled it out a little bit and it came back on its own. So we didn't want to flush everything out and change it over. So it's got .4 in the rear and .5 in the front. Okay. Okay, the Celina 1000 is just about ready for our purposes. We got a leaking petcock, which we're going to try to fix up and do something with it. We're going to check the charging system right now on it, make sure it's charging. Bike's kind of cold-blooded. It's kind of cold outside. I've got the side covers for it and stuff. They're in fair shape. But basically, it's ready. We're going to give it a little cleanup. But for our purposes, it's about done. So I'm going to fire it up for you. We had it running a little bit earlier. Motor sounds pretty good. Over here's our meter. Just so happens, now that it's done, we had a gentleman from Florida who saw the bike, he liked the bike, and he saw some of our other videos, and he decided he'd like to build a really nice bike out of this. So now there's a lot more to tell about this story in another couple months to come here, because we're going to do a total redo on it. We've got the fuel leak stopped on the gas tank, battery charges, got the exhaust hanger on it. It's nice here in the back, so it's not going to move around. This is all pretty solid now. Everything's looking pretty good. All the brakes work. We've got new master cylinder, new grips. As you can see here, this is all replated here. These bearing cut caps, new Timken style bearings on the inside. This is all new. This is all new. This is all powder coated stuff. Got the genuine bars. So this is going to be a really nice candidate for what this gentleman wants to do to it. And he's going to put a custom, he's going to put a Z1 taillight on it with a rear, and I don't think he's going to have a rear fender on it, but he will have the Z1 rounded tail section. So this is going to be a nice piece. So this will be to be continued, but this is our final video on this as it sits. And I just wanted to kind of show you guys what we do to them just to get them going. And this was actually a 4-day straight project to get it as far as it is. So when you buy these bikes, if you can buy them off someone you know, or buy them that run or something like that, it's always your best interest, because once you start trying to get them moving and going the right direction, it can be a never-ending thing. So thanks a lot, and Celina Blue will be pretty cool next time you see her. Thanks. Make motorcycles great again. Woo!